Hello and welcome to Saddleback College Basketball here on Sportsnet, USA.net. I'm Ryan Osborn, joined by Mark Pavlovich as we get set for Saddleback College and Golden West. Mark, when you take a look at both of these two teams, it's kind of a tale of two different seasons. You see Saddleback having their successes, having their pitfalls, but they are getting themselves on a roll going into the new year. But on the other side for Golden West at 2-8, things just haven't gone their way.
Well, and when you look at what Golden West has done, Golden West has just given up too many points, Ryan. That's the only way to look at what they've done. They've given up 79, 91, 85. They did win when they scored 93 points, but then they lost when they gave up 79. And then, of course, with the stalwart Fullerton College team, they scored 115 points against this Golden West College team. If you're going to give up that many points, you better be able to score.
Well, that's the one thing that you and I were talking about before this broadcast got on the air, is whether or not they can protect the basketball when they don't have the opportunity to get themselves going like they would like. I mean, you and I were talking about it, turnovers to assists. That's always a big category for you, Mark. And when you take a look at both of these two teams, you start with Golden West College, 15 turnovers per game, Mark. On the other side for Saddleback, sitting at 10, they make sure they take care of the basketball.
Yeah, and that's the thing. And again, I'm going to go back to that old age bugaboo. Corey Nayland's probably watching right now. Corey, let's just be realistic. At this stage of the game, yeah, everybody likes to go out and score points. But the team that has won recently here in the OAC has been a team that emphasizes defense. The one thing, Ryan Osborn, you brought it up, at least Golden West College does something that I appreciate.
Well, the one thing that you're talking about there, make your free throws. Because when you take a look at Golden West College, so far this season, hitting about 75% of their free throws. Not the 80% that Mark would like across all of basketball, but if you compare them to community colleges around the state of California, they are sitting at higher than average than what you see across the CCCAA. So we're getting set for the tip-off here in just a couple of moments. If you're watching on your screen, Golden West College is in the green, going from right to left. Saddleback College will be going from left to right. The Bobcats and the Rustlers live here on Sportsnet, USA.net. Getting set for the jump here is Gerald Jones III. He'll be jumping it up with Alex Ball. Ball goes immediately out of bounds. Question is who to go off of, and it looks like it went off of Saddleback. So we will start things off with Golden West and their starting five, as Soma Doherty will be out there along with Daniel Yardley and Michael Ernest, Alex Ball, and Dominic McBride. Those are the starting five for the Golden West Rustlers. They'll start things off with Michael Ernest, who tries to find someone left corner, and it ends up going off of Daniel Yardley, and it will go out of bounds. So Saddleback gets their first opportunity of the night, going from left to right in the gray uniforms.
And there we go with that turnover by Golden West College.
That's something that you and I were talking about before the broadcast and also in the intro as well. As you take a look at Saddleback trying to get a little jump stop going there. They do get the two, and Elijah Aldebaran is able to get them on the board. So Saddleback takes the first opportunity to get a score. As going the other way, there's a three that ends up not catching rim. Taking the shot there was Michael Ernest, and he won't be able to get that to go. It's 2-0 Saddleback. Big launch on a three for Nick Bowden, and it doesn't end up going in. Rebound taken by Saddleback. The Bobcats with it, moving from left to right. Spin inside the lane. Nice move there by Gerald Jones III, and he will end up making it 4-0.
Yeah, you look at the big man's got excellent footwork, and when he puts it on the ground, he can handle the basketball. That's what's nice about him for this Saddleback team.
Quick dribble, little kick over towards the elbow. That's fired up and in. It's going to go for Daniel Yardley, and he'll make it 4-2. So cuts the lead in half there, and Golden West is now on the board. 18.5 left to go in the first half between these two sides. As Himwell Reyes is going to give it over to Jones. Jones' little hook shot. That's going to go. Make it 6-2, and Saddleback reopens a 4-point lead. Quickly mentioned the uniforms just a few moments ago. Saddleback will be in the home all-gray uniforms, as that will end up being trimmed by red and gold. On the other side, it's going to end up being all green and black for Golden West College. First team foul for Saddleback College. And Golden West will reset. At the point, it will go over to McBride. McBride, you and I were talking about those turnovers, and very quickly they end up catching up to Golden West College as they have 2 inside of the first 3:08.
Yeah, and here's the thing when you talk about turnovers and everything else. You will watch this Saddleback team who has already found a foundation to getting the basketball to go through the hoop, going to the big man. Every time you give somebody an extra opportunity to score and they can on you, there is no way you're going to make a play on the court.
Checking in for Golden West College, Stoma Doherty, getting the first team foul and first personal for him. Ends up leading Golden West with 18.7 points per game, shooting about 47%. 6-2, the Bobcats with the lead over the Rustlers. There's a step into in rhythm 3, and it's going to be connected on there by Elijah Aldebaran. It's a big 3 there for Saddleback. They now make it a 7-point game. Here's a 3 for Doherty the other way, front rim and out, and it's going to be a little tap there on the top of the head by Dominic McBride, and McBride's going to get his first personal and second team foul. And the Bobcats will control at 17-16 remaining in the first half.
You look at the Saddleback team that shoots about 32% from three-point country. I know in the old days that used to be a really good number. Corey's probably going to say it still is Ryan Osborn, but the better these guys get, those percentages need to go up.
Kickball the other way. That's going to go against Michael Ernest. Coach Jeff Oliver for the Bobcats giving out the instruction for Saddleback College as they bring it over to Reyes. Reyes leading the team in points per game and also one of the top 3 in assists per game as well. He's got 3.1. That one gets tipped up, doesn't end up going towards the Bobcats. They end up tying up the basketball as getting an opportunity to control was Daniel Yardley. It will be a jump ball, and the possession arrow will stay with Saddleback. 16:55. They're going to have to make sure they fix the shot clock here in just a few moments. 8 seconds on the shot clock. And one of the things about the shot clock, Mark, initially they put it to 8, but since it was a jump ball, it is a fresh possession for the Bobcats, so they have to reset it to 30 seconds. Into the corner, it's going to go into the hands of Bowden. Bowden over to the near side where it ends up going to Rubidoux. Rubidoux can't get that one to go. Jones tries to go up, and he will end up getting fouled. That foul goes against Daniel Yardley. That is his first personal and third team foul.
And of course, when you look at Jones, about an 80% free thrower. You talked about how well they do at the charity stripe for Golden West. There are some people here that can make it as he knocks down the first one, Ryan, right on cue.
Well, you mentioned that. I mean, both of these two teams, 75% for Golden West College, 76.2% for Saddleback. Both of these two teams are shooting pretty well, and just their opponents themselves, as we say that, but it ends up leading to a miss. Both of their opponents are only shooting about 69%. So you see the contrast there as a quick pull-up 3 for Yardley doesn't go. The rebound is going to be picked up there the other way by Ernest. Ernest tries to get that one over, and it is going to end up going into the corner for 3, actually from the wing, as checking in there was Alex Ball onto the score sheet. And excuse me, that ends up being a very long 2 to make it 10-4. So Bowden out there, joined by Jones. Here's Reyes. Reyes off the screen. Reyes trying to get himself into the lane. Little pump fake there by Aldebaran. Tries to get that one to go. Gets his own rebound inside. Kicks it back out. Here's Bowden. Deep 3. no good. Front iron goes away, and into the corner it will be controlled by Golden West College. It will stay with the Bobcats, however, because getting to that basketball was Ernest, but he bounces it off a Bobcat, but regains possession out of bounds. Taking a seat there in just a moment will be Rubidoux in addition to Jones. And now in for the Bobcats, they're going to bring in Torrance Farr. Also joined out there by James Burries. Burries at the top of the arc, looking for someone, finds Farr. Both of them just checked in. Here's Bowden, quick release three off the turnaround, and ends up not getting that one to go, and it will be Doherty who takes the rebound. 10-4 is our scores. That's going to go into the far corner. Golden West College trailing it by 6, trying to find someone. Here's McBride. Ends up getting that one to miss, but the rebound is picked up and put away by Alex Ball.
Great pass by McBride is what we're going to give him, give an assist on that basket. Like me a scorer, right there?
Yeah, very, very kind score is Mark, as that's going to be a 2 the other way by Burries. Under 15 to play here in the first half. 12-6, the Bobcats with the lead. Doubling up Golden West here in the early going. Little spin move there, no shot, as that is a foul that gets charged against Nick Bowden. For Bowden, that is his first personal, second team foul.
Look at Golden West, 2-10 overall, 0-1 in early stages of the conference.
That's the thing, Mark, when you take a look at conference play, every game means so much, as this is going to be an offensive foul going against Daniel Yardley. Yardley will get his second personal. And immediately he will go right to the bench as Ashton Kimes-Dunn will enter for him. But each game is essentially 2 games in the standings that you have to worry about. If your team ends up getting a win and the team that you are playing ends up getting a loss, that's 2 different games worth of difference that Orange Empire Conference teams have to worry about. Underneath, that's a 2 for James Burries, as the Bobcats have been pretty efficient in the early going on the offensive side of the floor. Doherty over to his left, trying to drive into the lane, looking for a jump stop, ends up getting that one off glass and to go. Soma Doherty, 18.7 points per game, and so far he's got 4. Turnaround, looking for the 6th point of the night already for the Bobcats. Burries can't get that one to go, but it will be rebounded offensively by the Bobcats, and they will get second chance points. It's 16-8. That's our score between Saddleback and Golden West. You are watching Saddleback College basketball here on Sportsnet USA.net.
Ryan, I like the thing that you brought up about conference play, because too many people miss that. If you win and I lose, you beat me, I lose 2 games. I lose 1 in the loss column and 1 in the win column. And people don't really look at it that way, that all of a sudden you are from the penthouse to the outhouse really quick when you look at what goes on here. The one thing that Saddleback's doing well in this game is rebounding. They average over 33 rebounds a game, and they are dominating the rebound early in this game.
That's also, when you take a look at their offensive rebounding, right around 11 offensive rebounds per game as well for Saddleback. As of right now, Mark, they've already got 4 offensive rebounds, and it has led to 6 second chance points. Under 13:40 to play in the first half. 16-8 is our score. Ernest trying to find the handle on that, as checking in is Anya Clark. Clark third on the team in scoring with 10.5. Turns to his right, tries to drive right into the lane. Can't get that one to go off the glass. Himwell Reyes is able to pick that up and take it right the other way. Goes for a quick jumper right at the charity stripe and will end up getting fouled.
And you'll talk about people driving to the basket. You have to realize when you go to the basket, you have to finish your drive to the basket. We have a lot of people up here in the booth and at other games that will say, too many of these players look for the foul, Ryan. They don't look to complete the play.
Mark, when you mention that, it's interesting taking a look at the way that basketball has evolved in the last just 10 years. You take a look at how contact is kind of measured when you're going up for a shot. You mentioned it. You see guys who go into that contact looking more for that whistle than actually trying to complete the play. What you would have seen before is not being afraid of contact, but still getting the contact and trying to complete that. Now it's just changed to making sure that the referee is able to see it and get that call for you. Here's a chance the other way for Golden West. Kind of a hectic bouncing ball that goes around. Saddleback will come away with a foul on the play, as it will go to Sailor Robbins, and Robbins gets his first personal, third team foul. 20 seconds on the shot clock for Golden West. Here's Doherty. Doherty looking for a teammate. Ends up finding David Byrne. Byrne underneath. No basket there, as the whistle will come out. And Robbins is very quickly going to get his second personal.
And again, to play defense, you have to move your feet. The one thing you can't grab, and that's what we've seen a lot of so far in this early game.
Step back Jay in the lane, doesn't work, as Clark can't get that one to fall. 17-8, it remains for Saddleback. They have a 9-point advantage. Deep three from Reyes, tries to get that one to knock down, and it's good. Reyes now has 4 points to his credit, and it's now 20-8. Reyes from three hitting 38%. There's a quick drive there. Turnaround jumper for Doherty. Beautiful move to get himself some open space and gets the two to go as well. And it's now 20-10. Marky, look at that from Doherty. A nice quick jab step with his left foot, and it creates the opening he needed.
Well, and if you see the majority of shots here, Ryan, nobody's really taking shots from the wing. They're facing up to the basket and taking a very simple shot facing the basket. Nobody's taking it from the corners. Nobody's driving to the elbow and shooting from there. So we're seeing a very interesting pattern. Hey, if I'm in front of the basket, I'm going to shoot it up. If I miss at the backboard, should be able to take care of it.
So Breeze will go to the line. He ends up getting fouled by David Byrne, his first personal. Burry's going to the line, misses the first. So we talked about both of these teams able to shoot free throws really well at the top of the broadcast, Mark. And right now, Saddleback shooting about 40% from the free throw line.
Yeah, and you look at Burr as somebody that's out there, supposedly an 87% free thrower.
Right-handed shot goes up, and it's in. 21-10 with 11:45 remaining in the first half. High 2-1-2, pressure here from Saddleback. Not trying to press too much, but they are giving Golden West a different look offensively. Doherty gets that one tapped away for a second and taken away by Reyes. Reyes has a fast break, looks to get it up to a teammate. There's a layup in the fast break by Sailor Robbins. So Reyes gets his second assist of this one, and it's now 23-10. Takeaway. Here's Reyes the other way. Reyes waiting for the contact, doesn't get it. Add two more for the Bobcats.
And you like that Reyes felt the contact, knew he wasn't going to get the whistle, and finished the layup for Saddleback on that last play.
And what you, Corey, and I have talked about a lot is when you're down underneath the basket, you know that that contact is coming. It's imperative that you don't bring the ball back to the floor. Yeah, a lot of people like to go with that power dribble, but it takes away a lot of your momentum. You make sure you gather, bring it to your chest, and go right back up strong. You have an opportunity to get yourself to the basket and also get to the free throw line. 25-10 is the score, as that ball is going to end up being fouled off the inbound. Foul goes against John McFadden. McFadden gets his first personal, and for the team, that's the fifth. Everyone moving around. Goes all the way into the backcourt where it's going to be retrieved by DJ Williams. Williams in for the first time, drives over towards the right, trying to find the baseline, and a traveling violation is called. That's the 4th turnover for the Rustlers.
And when you pick up the ball, you can't shuffle those feet, and that's exactly what they've done. The pressure from Saddleback is just enough to distract Golden West College in this game. Calling it close right now, Ryan.
That's going to go against DJ Williams. So just a few moments ago, we mentioned him on the offensive side. He gets his first personal foul. And that's the 17th foul, which means that the Bobcats will go to the free throw line for a 1-and-1. First free throw is good. So that makes it 26-10 as Elijah Aldebaran is able to get that one to go.
Another player for this team that scores in double figures, and when you look at this Saddleback team, they have 4 that easily get double figures every time they come out and play a game.
Second is there as well, and you mentioned that, Mark. Balanced scoring is what we consistently see in the Orange Empire Conference that leads to success. There's a chance the other way. A block is made by the Bobcats. They get back defensively on the fast break. Second shot doesn't go. Ernest tries to get there, can't get that one, as it will finally land in the hands of Jones. A huge block the other way by John McFadden allows for the Bobcats to not give up 2 on what was a clean stretch the other way. 27-10 is the score. McFadden over to his left, looking for Bowden. Bowden dribbling. Finding Aldebaran. Aldebaran dumps it in underneath to Jones. Jones gets his own offensive rebound, gets that one tapped away. Nice job by Ernest to get active hands into the breadbasket of Jones. And then Ernest gets that one swiped away out of bounds.
Yeah, and again, when you look at Jones and what he's done so far in this game, he's been able to control down low against this Golden West College team. Takes a deep breath on that last shot. He's got an easy basket.
Anye Clark going through the legs at the elbow, gets that one blocked by Jones. You were just talking about Jones' impact on the offensive side. Second block for him. Aldebaran faking the 3, drives floater, doesn't go, front rim and out, gets the offensive rebound. Bowden with the tapper allows for that one to stay alive. And Derek Rubidoux as well, who is in there helping out, leading the team in rebounds with 6 a game. Here's Jones. Jones looking for a chance, gets underneath, gets fouled. The question is, does it go against Williams or does it go against Alex Ball? And it will end up being against Alex Ball for his first personal. That will end up being 2 shots coming up for Jones, and 8 team fouls for the Rustlers puts the Bobcats in the bonus as of 7.
Jones plays about 20 minutes a game, Ryan, and when you look at it, he usually gets at least 7 points. One of the leading rebounders for this team. He's got great balance, can do it all. Plays good defense, too, for a big guy. And, of course, he comes up short. I've already praised these guys for their free throws. I guess, yeah, Corey Nalen, I jinxed everybody on this court.
And speaking of Corey Nalen, watching along with us, 11-2 run for the Bobcats. 9:07 to go here in the first half of play. Second free throw goes up, not connected on, but an offensive rebound is there for Rubidoux, but he can't get that second chance opportunity to go. Chance the other way for Golden West. There's a floater, blocking foul. The Bobcats will be called for. Coach Oliver not happy with that, as that's going to go against Rubidoux. For Rubidoux, that'll be his first personal. And the 6th team foul. So Ernest will go to the free throw line.
64% from the charity stripe when he gets there.
Ernest Kimes Dunn, joined by Williams and Alex Ball. Those are the 5 on the floor. Take away Ball, and you can add David Byrne. for the Rustlers. On the other side, it's McFadden, joined by Rubidoux and Bowden, in addition to Aldebaran, and they are joined by Farr. Torrance Farr just checking back in, and it will end up being 27-11. Saddleback with the 16-point advantage, and under 10 to play in the first half. Off to the right, it will swing into the corner where McFadden wants to drive baseline, turns around, looking for Farr. Farr wants a chance. High jump just beneath the charity stripe, and it will not go. That's going to be a foul that gets called against the Bobcats, and it will go against Rubidoux. So Rubidoux gets his second personal foul in the last 45 seconds, and that will be the 17th foul, which will bring a 1-and-1.
And so when you look at it right now, you sort of feel that the Bobcats are dominating the team, but Golden West will not go away. If they could hit some of these free points that they're getting out here, they'd stay close in this game.
Free throw shot off the mark. McFadden trying to find possession and does so. So it remains a 16-point advantage. And you were talking about how the Bobcats have controlled this game to this point, Mark. You're watching them as there's a quick release. Bowden three. He can pull up from anywhere. He is now 2 of 3 from beyond. And Saddleback has now raised it to 30-11. But just going back to your comments a few moments ago, Mark, you're taking a look at Saddleback opening themselves up for those quick shots. As the other way, it will end up being a 2 there for Golden West College. Coach Oliver asking why that counted, because that ball looked like it hit the shot clock and then came back down. They're going to count it and keep it at 30-13. Well, you watch the Bobcats offensively, Mark. They're getting the opportunity to get open shots with off-ball movement. Offensive rebounds have been there as well, as that's going to be picked up by Rubidoux. Rubidoux, three-point shot there by Aldebaran, no good. Offensive rebound not controlled by McFadden. It will be a team rebound, however, for the Bobcats. Ball ends up going out of bounds, and Golden West can't get possession. Full cell changes as Farr, joined by Rubidoux, Jones, McFadden all go out. So it's Bowden, in addition to Burries, Aldebaran, in addition to Reyes and Jones, all out there for the Bobcats. This might be the best offensive lineup that you'll see from the Bobcats as they find Burries just inside the arc. There's a 2. The assist will go to Bowden, and these Bobcats look like they are clicking on all cylinders at this point, 32-13.
Well, you saw Golden West. The Rustlers tried to change up their defense just a little. They tried to put a little more pressure on there, as we're going to get a little shuffling of feet. Oh, they actually called a foul on that? I thought
they did.
Well, I tell you what, he was dancing out there. Talk about generous call by the official.
And you get the up and under there by Doherty as the foul goes against Timuel Reyes. Doherty's free throw off the mark.
But Golden West has tried to come with a little more pressure defensively here. They're picking up quicker at the half-court line, seeing if they can just break up the tempo for the Bobcats.
Here's Reyes from 3, off the mark. Goes off of Burries, will end up going out of bounds, and Golden West will take it. 32-15, they trail it by 17. Mark, you're watching it offensively as well for Golden West. It just seems like the 3-2 defense that they're being shown by the Bobcats has presented them with a lot of issues, as a bank 3 is going to go in for McBride. McBride ends up hitting front iron on that, goes off the glass and ends up falling through. 32-18, under 7 to play, as this will end up going to Jones. Jones turns around, ends up getting fouled. Getting charged with the foul is Doherty. That's his second personal. And going to the free throw line will be Jones once more.
Ryan, you've noticed Jones, though, he moves well without the basketball for a big guy. I mean, he's constantly on the move. We watched him in warm-ups out here, and he looks completely different than he did in the warm-up, where in the warm-ups it's sort of like, where do I go? What do I do? He has sort of discovered it on the court in this game.
Here's Anya Clark looking for Ernest. Ernest, quick fire three. It's good. The assist will go to Clark. And you talked about Golden West College wanting to change things up on both the offensive and defensive sides. Now you're seeing a different look here from Golden West. This is Jones. It's going the other way. First personal for Gerald Jones. And we're going to get a timeout taken by the Bobcats. Mark, just going back to what you and I were just talking about, you look at Golden West on each of the last 3 times down the floor for the Bobcats, they show them 3 different defensive looks. They also show them a different style of offense going down the floor. You're seeing them offensively just say, you know what? We know that we can use our legs to our advantage, so let's get it up the floor as quickly as possible and get that first open look. It has led to 3-point shots that have drained on each of their last 2 possessions.
Well, if you start up a game and what is not working, you have to change it. You have to have fluidity if you're a coach in the game of basketball. And there are too many coaches that are old school that will say, this is what I've done for all these games in a row. We've seen what Golden West has done. Shoddy defense and not the best of offense. What we're seeing them now is changing up the game as the game moves on. And they're hanging around, Ryan. I mean, that's the thing. They're only down by 12 at this stage of the game.
33-21 is our score. Kick into the corner to McBride. McBride looking for someone. Little hook shot. Drained by Yardley. And very quickly, Golden West College on an 8-2 run. They've closed it from a 17-point disadvantage to now just 10. That's going to be a foul. And it looks like it's going to be called against McBride. So for Dominic McBride, that's his 2nd personal. And that should be the 10th team foul. See, here's my question, Mark. If it's the 10th team foul and both teams are in the double bonus, why is that going baseline?
Yeah, I don't understand that either.
Reyes open in the near corner. He's going to get it. Bowden hands it off. Now over to Burries. Burries thinks about that step back 3. We'll give it over to Aldebaran for 3. No good. Side rim and out, and it will be taken by Ernest. Golden West working fast. Anya Clark now to Ernest, who says, it's my rock, I will let it fly. And it ends up hitting front iron and out.
And what you see is the tempo was picked up for both these teams.
Speaking of tempo, here's Clark. He'll dunk it the other way. 33-25, Golden West on a 10-2 run. And they are trying to close it here with under 5 minutes to play in the first half.
Well, and Golden West has also started to control the boards better than they did at the beginning of this game.
Here's the chance. Aldebaran. Layup doesn't go. And it will be picked up by the leading scorer for Golden West in Doherty. Doherty beyond the 3-point line finds McBride, who will travel and turn the ball over.
McBride decided to take off before the ball was even laid on the court. A little over anxious.
I mean, you and I have seen a lot of community college football this year where we see a wide receiver get that screen pass and they turn around and they look and they see, ooh, I've got daylight in front of me. I forgot to take the football with me. Same thing here. Gets those feet moving before the basketball gets to him. And by the time that he actually does get possession, it's too late to get that dribble down. There's another takeaway, 2nd straight, but Ernest hurts himself in the fast break, and he is going to take himself out of the play. He's hurt on that left-hand side of the floor. Here's Reyes. Reyes for 3. That's going to go back iron and out. For the moment being, it's a 5-on-4 and a timeout taken by Golden West College as Ernest is in some pain over to our left. 3:53 left to go in the first half of play. It's 33-25. You're watching Saddleback College basketball here on SportsNetUSA.net.
And when you saw him running, Ryan, you sort of wonder if they tweaked the ankle and stepped on it wrong. He's down on the court. The trainers, the athletic trainers, are with him on the far side of the court. Hopefully the young man isn't hurt badly. So, Ryan, let's go back because we saw the Rustlers playing not well. Is that a nice way to put it at the beginning of this game? We looked at the stats and I thought, okay, here we go. No defense, very little offense. This is going to be a runaway. And they are now within 8 in this game, like you said, coming back from 17.
I mean, you mentioned that what Golden West has done really well over the last 2 minutes and 50 seconds is that they have decided we can use our legs, and if we get into a transition game, we can use that to our advantage. You're seeing them anticipate passes over to the wing. They're starting to realize what the half-court sets by the Bobcats look like, and they anticipate it, get in front of it, and it turns into possessions for them. So it starts with their defense, and it's leading them to getting more opportunities offensively.
Well, and the other thing they've done, too, is they have limited Saddleback on one shot. And, you know, let's be realistic. If you let me take 12 shots and you only take 2, even if I'm crummy, I make 4 of them, I'm beating you in the game. So I think it's the defense has stepped up and also the ability to rebound against a very good rebounding team, and that has allowed them to crawl their way back in the game.
You mentioned the second chance points by the Bobcats in the first 10 minutes of this game. Actually, we'll extend it to 12 minutes. They had 8 offensive rebounds, and it led to 12 points. On the other side for Golden West, in the last 5 minutes and 45 seconds of play, they have given up 1 offensive rebound, and it led to no points. Under 3:50 left to go in the first half of play between the Bobcats and the Rustlers. That's Saddleback and Golden West. Back underway here with Golden West having possession, looking to go from right to left. Here's Anye Clark losing the dribble. He'll find McBride. They try and go entry down low. Can't get it over to Ball in time. It gets taken away by McFadden. McFadden finds the wing. Here's Bowden into the corner. He'll find someone in Robbins. It's off the mark. Offensive rebound, though, for the Bobcats. A chance for Bowden, finds Robin. And guess what? It's an assist to Bowden, as you can add 2 to the score sheet.
Yeah, the offensive rebound will always help as we get another turnover against Golden West.
35-25, 10-point lead for Saddleback. Just when we were talking about Golden West cleaning up those defensive rebounds, they give up a couple to the Bobcats, and it leads to a second chance opportunity. Here's McFadden on the near side. He'll find Rubidoux. McFadden, beautifully drawn up play by Coach Oliver, and it leads to 2. 37-25, what you saw there, Mark, is essentially a give and go. They give it up to the top of the arc. You give it over to the far wing. McFadden, who initiates the play, goes baseline drive, backdoor find, and it ends up going in for 2. Alex Ball is going to get fouled by Selah Robbins. Third personal foul for Selah Robbins, and Ball will go to the free throw line.
So as soon as we started giving a little love to the Rustlers, I guess somebody down the bench on Saddleback, is the first free throw is good, said, all right, let's start to pick it up here because we are giving them way too much opportunity. And Golden West just needs to keep the intensity of the game on their side.
In for the first time is Bobby Thompson. Second free throw off the mark. And it's picked up by Thompson. Here's Reyes. Reyes looking for someone, finds McFadden on the turnaround. It's 2. 39-26, Saddleback reopening a 13-point advantage. Taken away by Thompson and McFadden. Here's Reyes. Reyes has a 3-on-2 if he hurries. Swings it over to Bowden for 3. It's true. That's a pretty transition game there, Mark. 42-26. It's now back to 16, and very quickly, only a minute and a half, and you see the Bobcats reopen a big-time advantage as Doherty is going to see a blocking foul against Bowden. Mark, you look at Bowden, he is just that type of guy who says anywhere on the floor is comfortable for me, and he's knocking them down at a 4 of 6 rate.
Well, and this is why when you look at this Saddleback team now up by 16, you sort of wonder, what is the OEC going to look like this season? I mean, Cypress ended up beating Riverside the other night. So Riverside, one of the teams that everybody thought would take on Fullerton this season.
You and I were talking about Orange Empire Conference play as well, and what that means for you when you end up seeing someone get upset like that. Now you're looking at Riverside. Of course, it's still early, only one game, but you're looking at Riverside in the bottom 3 of the conference after just one game. Again, it's a 2-game difference if you end up playing an Orange Empire Conference opponent. That's stripped away by McBride. McBride gets fouled by Bobby Thompson. Thompson's going to get his first personal foul. .136 left in the first half of play, 42-28. You're watching Saddleback College basketball here on SportsNetUSA.net. Ryan Osborn, Mark Pavlovich watching as McBride gets the first of 2 to fall.
So is this the Bobby Thompson?
It is not. It is
okay.
not the Bobby Thompson who ends up sending it just wide of McCovey.
I was going to say, because, you know, my team up in the northern part of California could use some help.
Swung over to Reyes, into the corner for 3. Off back iron, no good. Taken away quickly by Clark. Clark wants to run fast. He finds Doherty beyond the 3-point line. McBride, quick shot fake, finds Clark. Clark for 3, no good. And that is grabbed there by John McFadden. McFadden, one of the tops in rebounds per game for this team, averaging about 3. Switched over to Bobby Thompson for 3. Just gets the front rim and will end up dropping down. It's still 42-30, a 12-point lead for Saddleback. Every time that we have seen Golden West have an advantage as McBride launches from deep, that's going to end up into the corner and picked up by Reyes, and he will slow things down. As Coach Oliver says, let's hang on here for maybe about one more shot in the half. Shot clock and game clock separated by about 9 seconds. There's a shot there by Bobby Thompson, and he's able to get that to go. Shot clock is turned off. It's now 45-30, 15-point advantage for the Bobcats. Now at 10 seconds, here's Anye Clark, gets it stripped from him, and Aldebaran will take it and lay it up on the other side. Under 5 seconds to play. 3, 2, and 1, and Clark sends that one up and high. So that will take us to the half, where the Bobcats lead it 47-30, a 17-point advantage for Saddleback as they open things up in the last 5 minutes of play and get themselves a huge lead going into the half. You're watching Saddleback College basketball here on SportsNetUSA.net. Ryan Osborn joined by Mark Pavlovich, and Mark, you and I were talking about both of these two teams, the different looks that they give, but we take a look at the last 90 seconds, and Saddleback really asserted themselves.
Yeah, they did, and they allowed, you brought it up too, Golden West got back in this game, Brian. It really looked like they were going to get there. They got within 8, and they changed the whole way they were playing, the style that they were playing, and then it went back to turnovers, and then allowing the other team to take advantage of those turnovers, and all of a sudden we're back up to that 17-point lead. And that just seems to be the season for this Rustlers basketball team.
Well, one thing that's interesting too, Mark, is you were talking about the intensity for Golden West College, and we've mentioned it a couple of times. Every time that they've had really big success, it has been through the fast break. But it's really difficult to keep up that high rate running style of game if you're not used to it going into a game. Even if you're having that success, to be able to keep up that same intensity is really tough.
Well, I think intensity comes in the aspect of playing defense. And I know you and Corey are prolific shooters and everything else. Some of us are just a little meaner and nastier when it comes to the game of basketball, and thinks that defense is really where it starts. And especially at this level, I really do think community college basketball is won or lost. And I know the old guy at home was probably saying, oh, I should be up in the booth with Ryan and Mark. That is won and lost on the defensive end. We know that one coach really believes that. There's another coach over at Cypress College that will harp about his team's defense and says that if they play solid defensively, that will keep them in every game. And we saw it here with Saddleback, where we saw Saddleback get those turnovers from Golden West, and they capitalized on those turnovers when you sort of look at what the score looks like right now for all the players on the floor.
Well, we'll start things off with what you were talking about, those turnovers. You take a look at both of these two teams, 12 turnovers for Golden West College in the first half alone, Saddleback with 5. We were talking about Golden West College averaging about 15 to 16 turnovers per game. They've got 12 at the break, which is, well, plain and simple, not good for them going forward in terms of trends. When you take a look at the Bobcats, they are right on their average of about 10 if you finish off the game as is. But the question comes in with points off of turnovers, 22 to 6. And the Bobcats have thrived off of Golden West College giving them the basketball, and they turn it into points. Total rebounds, 24 to 16, 11 offensive rebounds in the first half for Saddleback College, just 4 for Golden West. And the assists, well, the Saddleback College Bobcats, they're getting the ball around the horn, and they are finding people at an 11 to 5 advantage. You take a look at these two sides. We already talked about the ball movement by Saddleback. We've talked about the turnovers as well. But, Mark, when you also take a look at bench points and what that can help or detract from your program, you look at Saddleback right now, 18 bench points to 4.
Well, and one of the things I'm going to go to is turnover to assist ratio. It's a +6 right now for Saddleback when you look at it. And the other thing is, you brought up the rebounds. You give me more opportunities to score, and I can do that against you. I'm probably going to beat you on the floor, and we have seen that. And Ryan, again, we talked about the fact that Golden West is one of the teams that loves to turn the basketball over. When you're shooting against a team like a Saddleback team and you have to match them, you cannot give them those extra opportunities. And, of course, then you look at what the big guy's doing underneath the basket as we get to individual stats. The big guy has been huge for the Saddleback Bobcats out here underneath the board for them tonight.
You mentioned that. Gerald Jones with 6 points. He is 2 of 6 from the free throw line, but he also has 3 rebounds as well. You know, it just by the way that he has impacted this game, you wouldn't think that he only had 6 points in this one and only 3 rebounds. It felt like we were constantly calling his name out, but that's it for the moment being at 6 and 3. Elijah Aldebaran with 11 points. He is 4 of 9 from the floor, and he's got 2 rebounds to his credit. Himuel Reyes, 6 points, 1 rebound, and 4 assists. He has been getting the ball around to everyone possible. On the other side for Golden West College, their leading scorer is Soma Doherty, 8 points on 3 of 4 shooting, 2 of 3 from the free throw line. He's got 2 rebounds and an assist as well. Alex Ball with 5 points and 4 rebounds, and then Michael Ernest before he ended up having to leave the floor 4 points, 3 rebounds, and 1 assist.
Well, Aldebaran has taken advantage of the time he's on the floor. He averages almost 11 points a game. Like you said, he's already hit his average in that first half. And every time he has found something on a running play or been in the corner, he's been able to knock it down for this Saddleback team. And that's been something that's pretty special. Some of the other games that are going on around the area.
Yeah, you take a look at Northern California, American River 76-65. They end up with a final over top of Sierra. So they finish that one off with a plus 11 differential on that one at half. Folsom Lake, San Joaquin Valley. It is San Joaquin Delta, not San Joaquin Valley. 36-28. They lead over top of Folsom Lake. Once again, that is at the half. If we stay in the Orange Empire Conference, quite a bit of games going on. Santiago Canyon and Riverside. You know, you and I were talking about Cypress and Cypress and Riverside, how that was an upset. Well, Santiago Canyon, if they can keep it up, they are up 9 over top of Riverside at the half, 43-34.
Wow.
Orange Coast and Cypress. It is Orange Coast leading Cypress 33-26. That one's about to go to the half as well. That's around the Orange Empire Conference, as Cerritos is also going to have an opportunity to play later on. That's at 6 p.m. outside the Orange Empire Conference. But you take a look at the rankings overall, Cerritos looks like the real deal. They've got an 8-0 record, and they look like one of the best teams that we have seen in a while in Southern California.
Well, they had a good basketball team last year, too. So, I mean, and, you know, Corey Nayland, I'm going to speak for you right now. Corey Nayland's going to say, let's don't start looking at who's who till we get into about 10 or 12 games and we get in the middle of conference play, and then you can start looking at how everybody sort of lines up ranking-wise and who the good teams are and who are not that strong in all the conferences around California.
So Cerritos, they will play at 6 against Mira Costa. And Santa Ana and Saddleback, that one's about to get underway in just a couple of moments. Or excuse me, Santa Ana and Fullerton, not Saddleback, because we are currently at Saddleback with Golden West. But Santa Ana and Fullerton, that one's going to start at 6 p.m. Canyons and L.A. Pierce at L.A. Pierce. And then L.A. Harbor and Rio Hondo. That's the final game in the state of California that has yet to get underway. So we're going to keep tabs on that Santiago Canyon Riverside matchup, see how that one progresses forward, and Orange Coast and Cypress as well. We are currently at the half with the Bobcats leading it 47-30 over top of the Rustlers here on SportsNetUSA.net. Now, a few moments ago, you were talking about one thing that Corey Nayland, who is watching along with us, always brings up. Not really wanting to get into the rankings and how real teams are until maybe after New Year's, after you've had 10 or 12 games so far, because you look at the way that things have shaken out in terms of the rankings to this point. This was as of December 5th, because haven't been any newer rankings to this point. But Cerritos, Fullerton, City College of San Francisco, and West Valley at the times 1 through 5. But you see the way that things change, because at one point you had San Bernardino Valley, who was ranked number 29. The very next week they're ranked number 6 in the state. Everything can change just based on the first, we'll say, 2 weeks of your schedule, and it tells whether or not you're a real team or not. You don't get an opportunity to really say, hey, this team right here is going to be in the state final in 2 months or in 3 months, and this team right here is going to finish at the bottom of the rankings, because you just really don't know about these programs yet.
Well, and what you're doing is you're still trying to figure out your team if you're coaches. I know that sounds ridiculous when you're walking into conference, but who is that person who plays well under pressure? Who is that person that is haphazard and then I have to bring back over and sit down at the bench? So after you start really in true competition, which is what conference play is, yeah, I know it's competition, but once conference starts, a lot of these players know each other. A lot of these players come around from the same areas. A lot of these players could have played in summer leagues against each other, and all of a sudden attitudes change, And, of course, during the breaks come up, the guys go away, the semester is ending, holidays right here. Now you're starting to get ready. A couple conference games are going to get played, and then the brunt of the conference is going to run together. And that's who you discover who is who. And that's when you'll see, and I think both of you are going to disagree with me on this one, but that's when either the bench starts to become much shorter, or you decide you have such a flourish of talent on your bench, it becomes elongated probably in the next 3 or 4 weeks on sports@usa.net.
No, I think you're right, Mark. I think you take a look at these coaches that we've seen over the last few years of basketball in the CCCAA is that the more you get away from January the 1st, the more those benches shorten, because you'll start to see coaches say, hey, you know what? I know my starting 5 is going to help me win games, and I've got these 2 to 3 guys afterwards who I'm going to sub in. After that, we'll just end up piecing things together just based on those 8. If you end up going any deeper into the bench, what you'll usually see is that's when teams get into a panic mode of, hey, someone's got some severe foul trouble, we've got to get them out, and the next closest person is someone who's further down my bench. You're going to see those bench guys or those bench rosters start to shrink up a lot more the more you get towards March and the further you get from January 1st.
Yeah, and I think the only time you'll see it expanding is if all of a sudden somebody blossoms and gets hot for a couple weeks, and all of a sudden you go, hey, where have they been? And then they'll disappear again as things move on. So I think it'll be interesting really to look. And when you look at those rankings there, Ryan, too, it's interesting if you look right now and you say, okay, would I put that team there right now? I mean, you know, if I sat down with you and Corey and handed you guys that list, I'm sure both of you would look at that list much differently than the SIDs who put these lists together.
Yeah, it's interesting you mentioned that as well, Mark, because you take a look at some of the standings around the state of California. I mean, you and I were talking about a team like Cerritos and how well they have played to start off their season. But you take a look at the overall standings for Cerritos, and a team like the Falcons doesn't end up getting off to the best start, let's just say, in conference. Let's say they lose their first 2 games, but blaze their way through conference the rest of the way. Well, now you're kind of looking at it from a California perspective saying, well, do they stay in the top 5? Do they not? You know, they lost their first 2 conference games, of course, in this hypothetical. But the rankings don't really show you how well these teams play just based on quick trends.
Well, and it also depends who they play against. You and Corey Nalen will still argue the OEC is the toughest conferences no matter what you play, be it baseball, softball, or anything else when you look at it. Even water polo, which you've been the voice for water polo here this last year. So, I mean, that's got a lot to do with it too, Ryan Osborn. You could play in a conference that's mishmash, there's really nobody there, and you're undefeated. Does that mean you should be at the top of the heap in the rankings? No. It means you play in a crummy conference and you're lucky enough to win 15 games and not lose anything.
And see, the other thing is, too, as well, Mark, you and I have talked about rankings, and of course with Corey as well, for a long time, talking about whether or not teams deserve to be higher on a list, whether or not they deserve to be lower. Sometimes what we'll see, not only in the state of California, but across the nation as well, sometimes you'll see a team ranked higher, but they're second place in their division or their conference. But that's because they've played better out of town type of teams, better teams outside of their own conference, as we're here in the second half between Saddleback and Golden West, as Doherty is going to get a layup backdoor. 47-32, the Bobcats with the lead. And it doesn't really reflect how well or how badly those teams play, just based on what their rankings say. Just underway here in the second half. That's going to be a turnover for the Bobcats, trying to get it across the half-court line. They end up turning that one over, and it's 47-32, 15-point lead for Saddleback. Anya Clark with the basketball, going to be joined by Ball and McBride. They are also out there with Yardley as well. Ball loses it for a moment, but it skips off of Jones out of bounds.
We'll see how aggressive the Golden West gets in this second half to get themselves back in the game.
Switched over to Clark. Clark has to get it off quickly for that shot clock before it expires. Does catch rim, but it ends up going wide, and it will end up in the hands of the Bobcats. Bowden at the top of the arc, wants it. Give him a little open space, and he'll take it. Aldebaran with 2. That's another assist for Bowden.
He's hot. Aldebaran is hot. That's his 12th point in this game right now.
And it's refreshing to see the type of shot selection that he has as well, Mark, because you see Aldebaran not afraid to settle for those mid-range type jumpers that we've seen gone away from at the community college level. 49-32. Saddleback with the 17-point advantage. Here's Bowden. Thought about it for a second. Going to swing it over to Farr. Into the corner goes to Aldebaran. A chance, kick out. Bowden can't take the 3, steps inside the charity line. It will go to a corner 3 by Aldebaran. Goes out, and Doherty will pick up the carom. McBride loses it. Bowden says, let's slow things down. Swing it over to Reyes. Reyes in rhythm for 2. Doesn't get that one to go, but it will be a foul underneath. Will it go against Jones? And that is what it seems like. It is indeed a push in the back, as Jones will get his second personal.
Jones now has 5 rebounds in this game. He quickly gets 2 to start things off the second half.
17:40 on the clock, 49-32. Here's Doherty into a mid-range shot. Doesn't go, but ball is there for the putback. 49-34. Nice anticipation there by Ball to make sure that he got possession of that rebound. Put it right back through. Foul called. Farr. We'll see Daniel Yardley get his 3rd personal.
Just a little lower hip action is what they called that foul on.
Everyone for the Bobcats breaks. Here's Jones. Jones off the left hand, puts it up, off the window and through. 51-34. That's just a case of guy deciding he has a mismatch that he likes, goes right to the basket. 51-34 once again. The Bobcats with the 17-point lead. Anye Clark on the right wing, sizing up Reyes. Backing him down, will end up getting an offensive foul call. And for Anye Clark, it'll be his 2nd personal. And
I like Reyes. Reyes goes down easy, and then when he gets up off the floor, rubs his jaw just to say to the referee, yeah, good call, because he whacked me in the face. It's like, okay.
Under 17 to play here in the second half. 51-34. Aldebaran. Finding Jones, now Bowden. Everyone swinging around, the off-ball movement there for the Bobcats. Will end up finding Farr. Now to Jones for 3. In and out, no good. Farr puts it back up. Second chance points for the Bobcats, brings it to 53. Into the corner. Here's Yardley getting fouled by Aldebaran.
And again, the battle of the boards belongs to Saddleback in this game.
I mean, you mentioned that, Mark, especially on the offensive side of the glass. You're looking at 13 offensive rebounds, 11 in the first half, from a team that only averages 10 overall through a game. There's a chance for Doherty. Doherty gets his guy to fall. That was Farr. Anye Clark into a 3. Front rim, no good. Ball tries to go for the putback once more, and he ends up getting fouled. That'll go against Jones, his 3rd personal.
You know, I've got to say, good turnout tonight for the holiday season. A lot of people are here to watch this game where you would think they might be out there finishing up their holiday shopping. Corey Nalen's probably going to say to us, were there any team members from the women's team? Probably a couple we missed tonight, Corey Nalen.
Shot goes up for ball. First free throw is online. It's funny you mentioned that, Mark, because we did end up getting a message from Mr. Nalen asking whether or not we had some of the women's soccer players here in attendance. You and Corey were able to see the women's team here, both basketball and then also soccer as well.
Soccer team was excellent this season. There's no doubt about it. Some of us called them winning the championship as the season went on.
Now Deberon, long on three, ends up being rebounded by Ball. Here's Anya Clark the other way. Tries to lay that one up in transition, can't get it to go. Fast up ahead, it goes now to Bowden. Here's Reyes. Reyes decides not to go for the three. We'll kick it back out. Aldebaran thought about it. Here's McFadden. Finds Reyes. Reyes on the inside. We'll kick it out into the corner. Reyes wants it back for three. Good. That's one thing, Mark. If a guy's going to call for it, it's one of those things where you have to be able to go out and make that shot. You're going to call for it from a teammate as ball ends up getting fouled underneath. And it will go against Reyes.
Well, what I liked about them, too, is they drove down low. They got within 12 feet away and looked like they were going to get the shorter shot. Then the defense stepped up for them. And then they took the outside shot.
A 21-point advantage for the Bobcats with under 15 to play in this one. Anya Clark looking for someone, finds Doherty. Doherty back over to Clark, beyond the three-point line. Clark averaging about 3 three-point shots per game, but ball lands in the hands of the Bobcats, and they will take advantage. Trying to go the other way. Here's a spin move by Aldebaran. Bobby Thompson for three. The assists continue to rain down for Saddleback, and it's 59-35. You see the penetration there by Aldebaran. You were talking about it. He was hot earlier, so Golden West had to close in and respect that inside lane. And all of a sudden, the kick out is wide open. Here's Burries. Burries, little hezzy, ends up going right to the basket. 61-35.
And the defense for Saddleback has stepped up. So what they've done is they've anticipated the passes well against Saddleback and shut down the lanes for their passing abilities.
Golden West calling for a foul. Finger roll the other way. There's two, and it goes down for McFadden. 63-35 as Saddleback has really opened things up here. And it's going to be a foul on the Bobcats. Actually, it looks like it may be a technical foul assessed to Golden West College. So that goes against the coaching staff here. And Reyes will go to the free throw line. Shot is good. Second one is good as well.
And this quickly became a 30-point lead to start off this second half. And this is where games can be won or lost in that first 5 minutes of the second half. And that's what Saddleback has done.
.36 left. 65-35 is our score. Underneath. Kick out, leaves it to Byrne. Byrne looking for someone, ends up going off the iron for Kimes Dunn. Offensive rebound for a moment for Golden West. It's going to stay with the Rustlers as it goes off of the Bobcats. 13-24.
Ryan, I got to tell you, I think this is a big game for Saddleback, and it has to be a game where they're saying something to the rest of the conference. And the reason I say that, when you should beat a team, then you need to beat a team. You know, I know that sounds redundant,
but it's not just making a statement for the conference, but it's making a statement for your own team as well. You were able to go out there and enforce what you wanted to do on the floor. Here's a chance for Robbins. Robbins going to put that one in, and another fast break opportunity. 13 minutes left. You talk about that, Mark. It's something that also helps the momentum of your own season. If you say this is a team that is favored in a specific matchup and they go out there and they don't just win by 5 to 6 points. They don't squeak away with the victory, but you get that double-digit win. It helps your team and your program, not just for morale's sake, but to be able to say, you know what, we have the ability to go out and beat the teams we need to.
Yeah, exactly. And those are how you stay in the hunt for a conference championship, winning the games you're supposed to win, and then winning those games that nobody gives you a chance.
12:50 on the clock, 67-35. As that ball goes sailing out, McFadden thought that he was going to have Robbins on the lower block, and it ends up going out of bounds for a turnover. That'll be just the 6th turnover for Saddleback in this one. Doherty trying to find someone, and they do. There's 2 to make it 67-37. 30-point advantage back for the Bobcats. Robbins thinking about a 3. Here's Burries. He'll let that one fly. Front rim, back rim. Thompson tips it up. Can't get that one to fall. And it will be taken away by DJ Williams. Williams into the front court, now at the elbow. Shot taken and drained. Nice job by Daniel Yardley to get that one to fall. And it's 67-40.
And we'll see if Golden West will set up their offense just a little quicker to take some of that defensive prowess away from Saddleback.
3 taken by Reyes. It's down. 70-40. Under 12 to play in this one. Nearly a takeaway as Doherty tries to get away from the clutches of 2 different Bobcats. And it will end up being a foul against Saddleback, which will go to Reyes, his 3rd personal. Or excuse me, not Robbins, but it will end up going to Reyes, his 4th personal.
You know, it must be tough when you're the hunted, having a couple Bobcats attack you.
$11:33 left to go here in the second half.
Welcome to Wild Kingdom here on sportsnetusa.net.
Doherty free throw is good on the first half of a 1-and-1. Mark, it's been a while since we've seen a team be as willing to just let threes fly from anywhere, but be able to also hit them as well.
Well, that's the thing. There's your point, Ryan, that you bring up that I think hits it right on the head. They're making those threes. They're just not willy-nilly shooting them. They're making them.
There's Reyes right as we speak about it. Front rim and out. Ends up going over to the far wing where it will be a layup opportunity for Yardley. Goes off the mark, but it will be a foul, allowing him to go to the free throw line. Foul will go against John McFadden, his 3rd. As the temperature drops here at Saddleback. 11-11 left in this one.
It's beginning to feel like winter.
70-43. Yardley on free throw number 2 is good. 70-44 as Aldebaran is going to bring that one up. Over to Burries. Burries far side on the skip pass. He'll find Bowden. Bowden on the inside looking for Thompson in the corner. Drained. The confidence of this Bobcat staff in shooting threes is off the charts in this one, as the other way, Golden West tries to get one down with Byrne, and that one doesn't end up working for them, as it will be a foul charge to Kynes Dunn.
If you would have charted the shots in the first half by Saddleback, most of them would have been no deeper than the elbow or anything else. Now you're finding them in the wings, and what they're doing is they're making those corner three-point shots with regularity.
Here's Aldebaran. And you mentioned that the variety of shots that they took before getting to these wing and corner threes opens that up now, because now the dribble drive has to be respected. The backdoor cut has to be respected, as Aldebaran makes some space for himself and scores. But without setting that up previously, you don't get the opportunities to get these corners. That's an offensive foul going the other way, and it will end up being a turnover, as that will go to Selma Doherty. Third personal.
And what you got to do from Aldebaran that you got to like, Ryan, he's making a three-point shot. Next time down he gets the ball, they back up on him. So what's he do? He takes it from 10 feet and makes a basket. Smart basketball on Saddleback's part.
Nearly a turnover there by Burries. He's trying to get to it. It will end up going the way of Golden West College. So a turnover for the Bobcats, and only the second of this half for Saddleback College. Under 10 to play in this one. 75-44, 31 points. That's the difference, as Yardley tries to put up a three and gets that one to go. Nice shot by Yardley as he hits it with a person right in his face, making that shot hard to connect on. Under 9.5, 75-47. Here's Bowden. Bowden for a deep three. Says, you know what? I see yours. I'll raise you one more.
Wow.
It's 78-47.
Wow.
Into the corner. Yardley thinking about that step back three. He'll pull it out. Goes front rim, iron out, and it is Bowden who will pick it up. Bowden crosses the timeline. Looking for some space, gets that one stripped from him, and it will be taken away. Kynes Dunn on the takeaway, and he'll find DJ Williams. Williams only playing in 6 games so far this season. Doherty on the step-in jumper. Won't end up going for him, and Bowden will take it away. Aldebaran open for three, says, let this fly. Doesn't end up getting that one to work. Into the front court it goes to Doherty, who's able to get that one over top of Aldebaran, and it will end up being two. 78-49 as both of these teams decide they're going to open up the pace. Under 8.5 left in this one. Reyes is going to check in just a minute, same as Jones as well. Here's Bowden for three. Front iron goes out. Now down to 8. Yardley over to our left. Ends up getting that one taken away. Burries with the anticipation. He's got a 3-on-2 if they hurry. Running floater there for Aldebaran, but he can't get that one to roll in. Tries to get the tapper to go as well. Doesn't end up working, as Doherty quickly right into the front court. Lays that up. Doesn't work. Neither team able to get points on each of their last 3 fast break opportunities. And finally, Saddleback will slow things down. 78-49, under 7.5 to play. Here's McFadden. McFadden steps back on a 3. Doesn't work. Here's Burries over the top. That's going to be an over-the-back foul. Lots of changes coming up. Full sale line changes for Golden West, as McBride, Clark, and Ball are all going to enter for Golden West. On the other side, going to the bench will be Doherty, Williams, and Yardley. And it's going to end up being a full timeout going to, it looks like, Saddleback. 7:16 left to go here in the second half. 78-49 is our score. You are watching Saddleback College basketball here on SportsNetUSA.net.
Don't forget other basketball here on SportsNetUSA.net. East LA, the women have games coming up. That will be after the Christmas holiday. Noah Alvarez will be calling those games here on SportsNetUSA.net. And then Corey Nalen's going to come out of hibernation on January 6th, I believe it is. And we'll be back at Cypress College for a little more basketball on the 6th. So East LA College, Cypress College, and more Saddleback College, community college basketball, all here on SportsNetUSA.net. Ryan Osborn, the old guy, and Corey Nalen, happy to bring you exciting community college basketball here on SportsNetUSA.net.
7:16 left in the second half of play, 78-49. The Bobcats with the advantage. Here on SportsNetUSA.net. Free throw is up. Free throw is good. That's going to be David Byrne. Byrne so far this season, not averaging too many opportunities at the free throw line, but every time he goes there, he is perfect from the charity stripe, and he continues that trend here. 78-51. 7:16 on the clock. Just a few moments ago, mentioned it, 27 points. That's the difference as Doherty is able to poke that one away. And Golden West, like we saw towards the end of that first half, the defensive intensity leading to points on the offensive side is what gave them a lot of success to get back into the game before. Here's Doherty. Doherty lays it up off the window, and it goes in. 78-53. If Golden West College is going to get back into this game, they have got to be able to get a lot of high pressure on Golden West, on Saddleback, as Jones is going to get that one in. Jones on the quick turnaround.
Well, yeah, and if you're Golden West, you've got to start making some stops on Saddleback.
Here's McBride leaning into one. Goes off the front rim, hits the glass, and will end up going back out to Bowden. Coach Oliver says, let's slow things down for a moment and get it across the timeline. Ray is talking to the official as Bowden tries to go with the little showtime behind the back pass. Doesn't end up working, and it ends up as a turnover. As Reyes is going to check out for the Bobcats. (80-53), under 6 to play. Chance there for Golden West, doesn't end up going. Elijah Aldebaran on the far side of the floor. Swinging it across the midcourt logo, leading Saddleback in scoring with 15 points, 3 rebounds, and an assist. They drop it underneath to Farr. Farr, nice job to wait for the blow-by, and then he gets the 2. Whistle will end up going against Aldebaran. Third personal. And going to the free throw line for 2 will be Anya Clark. So the rest of the way, the Rustlers will end up going to the free throw line in the double bonus. So 2 free throw shots every time that they get fouled. On the other side for the Bobcats, the Rustlers with only 5 fouls. So still some area to go through on that.
Clark can't knock down either one of them. A 65% free thrower normally scores in double figures, Ryan, but it's just not his night tonight.
29-point difference as this one is taken away. Here's McBride. McBride looking for a quick power dribble there by Ball. Gets his own rebound and pops it back in. 27 points, 82-55. You mentioned the averages there that some people are getting to or not getting to here on the floor. It's kind of been an odd game in terms of overall averages for both of these two sides. Here's Jones trying to put that one in, doesn't end up falling for him. It's opening up opportunity for different guys as Doherty gets that one to fall, and he leads all scorers with 18.
I was going to say, he's just worked hard tonight as a basketball player. Fought for the open shot, looked for the open spaces. We get a foul quickly on the floor. We're at the 4-minute mark, Ryan, and it really has been a different second half of a basketball game.
Yeah, and you take a look at Doherty as he will end up getting subbed off, and in his stead will be Noel Camejo, who's only played in 5, make it 6 games. But you take a look at the way that this game has shaped up, it's given you an opportunity to see how these teams can kind of game plan around different ways to go about a basketball game. What's working, what doesn't end up working, and where do you go from there? As Camejo ends up finding Jones. On him, he finds Yardley on the turnaround jumper in the corner. Yardley's momentum was carrying himself out of bounds, but he's able to adjust and get a 3. (82-60) is our score with 3:35 to play. Aldebaran up and under, no good. McBride with a chance. They've got to hurry as quickly as possible, and they turn it over. Into the fast break, he goes now to Farr. Farr wants Aldebaran. Aldebaran over to Jones. Power dribble with the left hand. It floats in. 84-60, it's dropped to 24 points. Lead has been as large as 31. Ball wants Yardley. Yardley looking to get hot from 3, can't get that one to go. It goes off the hand of Camejo, and Aldebaran is able to control. Bowden behind a screen for 3. It's there, 87-60. Bowden has been excellent from beyond the 3-point line tonight. Now sitting on 12 points total. Here's a 3 now by Baller, a step in 2, foot on the line, and it will be 87-62.
You know what I like about this game? It's flowed well. There hasn't been a lot of timeouts by the officials or the coaches. So it's had a great flow in this game.
Little crossover there by Aldebaran, gets his defender to fall, and it ends up draining the 3 on it. 90-62. You talk about the flow in this one, Mark. We've seen games like this that the whistles come out a lot more. You end up seeing guys have to go to the bench in foul trouble on both sides. And those types of games end up taking 3 hours, 15 minutes just to get through because of all the whistles. You talk about the pace of this one. It seems like both of these two teams, whenever those fouls are called, they're still running and gunning down the floor. So you're not really seeing this game take as long as you would expect.
Yeah, and it's been, you know, even though you look at the score where it's 90-63, it's been a fun game. And I mean, again, we look at Golden West. We've already talked about them giving up a ton of points. Once again, they could give up back-to-back 100-point games to start off conference play.
.208 to play as both free throws are there for Golden West College. 90-64, 26 points. Exactly 2 minutes left in this one as it is taken away. Kimes done the other way, gets blocked by McFadden on the chase down. McFadden fighting for it. We're going to end up with a jump ball possession arrow, to whom is the question. But McFadden with an excellent chase down and block of Kimes Dunn. And if you're a coaching staff, Mark, that's the exact type of intensity you want to see from your team. Even though they're up by 26, you could easily see your players just say, hey, you know what? We've got the lead. We don't have to do too much. Let's coast to the end here. but instead you see a guy like McFadden chase that down, get the block, and keep advantage.
Yeah, and you like the intensity, and yes, that's what makes it an exciting game when people go out of their way. You can tell by the fans over on the sidelines, the soccer players that are here tonight, they're enjoying every minute of this game. They would probably say, you know what? It has been exciting, especially since Saddleback is up in the lead.
There's another technical foul that ends up getting assessed to the bench for Golden West College. Bowden ends up getting the first free throw to land. Second free throw is good. Or excuse me, first free throw off the mark, second free throw is good. So 91-64.
And the coach is trying to find out why there was a tee.
Still discussion taking place over on the right-hand side of your screen. 1:47 remaining in this one. DJ Williams is the one who ends up getting the technical foul. From what it looks like, as this is going to be a three that ends up just barely getting to the rim, doesn't work. Anye Clark over to Noel Camejo, passes too far in front of him, and it will end up going out of bounds. So 90 seconds on the clock exactly left between Golden West and Saddleback. John McFadden with Bobby Thompson. They're now joined by Miles Ward, who checks into this one. Takeaway there by Noel Camejo. Camejo looking for the layup, gets blocked by McFadden again. Taken away by Saddleback. Saddleback wants to chase quickly. Here's Thompson for three. It's good. The assist is going to end up going to Chimo Sigwe. And he gets himself into the stat sheet as that ends up being a long two, 93-64. Officials making the scoring change at the scoring table. Osigwe for three off the mark. Bench was up, they were ready, looking to cheer, but don't end up getting that one as this is going to be an up and under by Ball on the baseline drive. He gets that one to fall in and makes it 93-66. Shot clock and game clock separated by about 3 seconds as they get it across half court. Saddleback with a commanding 93-66 lead, and they are getting set to get themselves another win here on the season. As Ball the other way ends up with a windmill dunk. Getting it across are the Bobcats, and that is going to be the end of this one. Saddleback and Golden West College, a final of 93-68 as both teams end up getting their handshakes in. And Mark, when you take a look at these two sides from the start, Saddleback said, you know what, the way that we're going to play is attack the offensive glass and get wide open threes.
Well, you know, I think what we saw was what we had discussed earlier in the game. The defense for Golden West not stepping up in any of these previous games. They hadn't done it with that. You brought up the turnover factor, the amount of turnovers that they had. They were high.